So they say that eyes are the windows to the soul, and as a portrait photographer, I can definitely attest to that and say that I love using eyes as a big feature of my work. In this video, I'll share with you a few different tips and tricks on how you can level up your portrait photography game just by taking care of the eyes. Let's get it started. So in this video, I want to share with you a few different ways where you can use eyes in your portrait photography to achieve different results. So in this example, you can see that the eyes are the main focus of the photo. And if we were to draw the rule of thirds grid on top of this photo, you can see that the eye is just shy to the left of the left line. As you can see, the eyes are the main focus of the subject, and this helps to set the context and it gives the photo a reference point for depth and positioning. I like to call this anchoring because when you're first seeing the photo, that's exactly what you're looking at, and then everything else in the photo is relative to that first point. And in this case, because we've been anchored to see the distance between us and the eye, anything outside of that distance range is going to look interesting. And so what I mean by this is the foreground subject blur, which is the flowers, and also the background blur, which is the entire background itself. This bokeh in the foreground and background are made more interesting because we're anchored to seeing the distance of the eye. Also, the fact that we're seeing an extreme close-up shot gives the photo the feeling of being intimate and also being very focused. This is just one really simple example of how you can use eyes in your portrait photography. Alright, and here's another example, and it's similar to the last one, but it's a little bit different. Upon first glance, this photo looks quite symmetrical, and for the most part, it is. The hands and the hair are in very similar positions on the left and right side, and the subject is also facing directly towards us. But as you can see, only one half of the face is showing in the lights and the other half of the face is in the dark. In this particular case, the eyes have been used as the point of asymmetry in a largely symmetrical photo. So having only one eye stand out in the photo really makes it more interesting compared to if both eyes were exactly the same. Also, a super quick tip when you're shooting portraits, it's really good when you have a little bit of a shimmer or reflection in the subject's eye when you're taking your photos. This generally makes the photo a bit more interesting and more dynamic to look at, rather than just a flat eye with no reflections. Alright, and so in this particular portrait example, we have the eyes looking away this time, and this generally makes the photo a bit more easygoing and more comfortable to look at. I think the fact that this photo has no eye contact with us, the viewer, just makes it slightly more easy to look at. Compare it to a photo with someone staring right back at us, we don't feel like we are invasive of other people's boundaries. This is also partially why candid photos of people looking away just feel a bit more natural and comfortable. Alright, so to recap, so far we have looked at eyes and depth, eyes and asymmetry, eyes looking away, and let me give you one more tip on how to improve your photography by using eyes. Alright, did you notice something odd in the photo? I use the eyes as part of a little illusion which makes the photo a bit more interesting. When you first look at this photo, your eyes are going to be drawn to the main larger subject with her eyes closed, and then you think in your mind, oh yeah, that's pretty normal, and then you see her reflection on the left but her eyes are open, and then you think, wait, what? How is that possible? I'll explain how I shot this in just a sec, but first I want to elaborate on how I use the eyes in this particular photo, not only to redirect focus and make an illusion, but also to tell a story. Alright, so the real subject with her eyes closed, you can tell she's posed in a way that makes her look like she's dreaming or in a very dreamlike state. Especially with the props and the haze in the photo, that's the context and anchoring I wanted to set. And then you look into her reflection where not only are her eyes open, but also she's got a different facial expression where it doesn't seem so magical or it doesn't seem so happy anymore. And I don't want to get too deep about the full semantics or the meaning of the photo because there's not a big meaning behind it, but I did want to depict that there was some kind of contrast between a dream state and a reality, and that's the kind of message I wanted to depict in the photo. And the way I shot this photo was obviously I combined two different photos together. What I did was I did a burst mode shoot while holding the camera in the same place, and while my camera was shooting, I would ask the model to open or close her eyes, and this way I could get her with different facial expressions but also having the camera in the same spot. In Photoshop, I would merge them together using the mask tool, and this is how I got the result. And And so there's my tips for taking your portrait photography to the next level by focusing on the eyes. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what you learned today. I'll be having more videos on how you can take your portraits to the next level, so remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!